120 seconds. 110 seconds. 100 seconds. 90 seconds. 80 seconds. 70 seconds. 60 seconds. 50 seconds. 40 seconds. 30 seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
All right, my friends, once again, it is indeed time to get our talk on. This morning, talk with me, your host, J. Stan McCauley, along with the champions of talk. This morning, in Studio 1A, talk champion, Cleo Duke-Wright. Good morning, Miss Cleo. How you doing?
Good morning, Stan. I'm doing pretty good.
Had a good week?
Oh, yeah. Exciting.
Go on any day trips or
Oh, no, just sort of running around, doing this and that. Not too much of anything. Talking to a lot of people, calling me, talking to a lot of people. That's just just kind of it. So no, didn't do really too much.
Well, we went by real quick. Seemed like last week was 3 months ago.
Oh.
Been very, very busy week.
Yes.
This week was kind of interesting because it's been a long time since I spent like a day on the phone. You're like, I love talking to people because, of course, I'm a talkaholic. But people call me want to talk. Just
talk.
Just the
talk.
talkers. It's like, and so you.
I'm feeling that. I hear you. And how do you get off the phone politely sometimes and get to the next step and the things that you have to do. But sometimes people call you and they seem to have such a need to talk. And you hate to cut them off because they called you because they needed to talk to you. Or they needed to talk to somebody. And you happen to answer the phone. So I try to be patient and listen, and as long as I can before I usually have to cut it off. You know, so.
Well, half of the talkers that I engaged this week jump right into the conversation. Hello. Hey, Stan, you know, I was thinking about this, that, and the third, and A, B, C, D, E, F, G, X, this, that, and the third, and then 20 minutes later, oh. I mean, that's all you get to say is, oh. And they go full right in. So you can't even say I'm busy.
No.
Or could you call me back? They just jump right in. And I actually could set the phone down.
Go away, come back.
I would never do that. And yeah, so you know, I had like this the short one was 20 minutes. The long one, 1 hour 15. It wouldn't be so bad, but this week, for some strange reason, they were coming back to back. And so at one point I had made something to eat and it got cold. I went to heat it up and it kind of overcooked. So one day this week, I literally spent the whole day on the phone. And that used to be regular, but it had backed off for a while. But to this week,
you know, I don't always, you probably know this, I don't always carry my phone right near me. It's in my pocketbook, it's on a table, and I don't hear it. I really don't hear it. People probably think I'm not answering the phone, but I really don't hear it. So by the time I pick it up, there are all these red marks going. Oh my God, now. So then I have to figure out who I'm going to call back first. Who am I going to call back first?
Yeah.
You know, I don't mean to do that, but I'm not really a telephone person.
Oh, really?
No, not really. I don't like to talk on. Ever since I worked for American Airlines as a reservationist, and I had that thing in my ear all day long, talking all day long on the phone.
I get it.
I really dislike talking on the phone for a long time. I'd get home from American Airlines and the phone would ring. I'd be so mad. What do they want? You know? But it's that kind of, you know, when you talk on the telephone all day, every day, I used to look forward to telephone calls, but after that I didn't. And now, well, I wouldn't say I was a celebrity, but I do say it seems to me that a lot of people know me and pick up the phone and just talk. And with the bookstore, a lot of people don't know that the bookstore is closed, so they call me about books and things like that, which I never mind taking those calls. I always love those calls, but you know, talk calls.
Well, I love to talk. I'm a talkaholic, and I love to talk. I love talking on the phone. I really, really do. Which is probably half the issue. It's not so much that they're calling and talking to me. I talk to them as well, so you know. But sometimes your time starts to sand and the hourglass starts dribbling down and you're losing out time. But yeah. Well, it is morning talk, and of course that's what we do all morning, every morning at 8 o'clock. And you can join us again at 8 at night too. If you missed the morning talk live, you can always watch it again 8 o'clock in the evening. Today we have a special guest joining us, Chris Prescott. We're going to talk a little bit about youth development. So let's welcome Mr. Prescott Good morning, sir. How are you?
Morning. I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing very well. So thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule and joining us this morning to share a
Thanks for
little bit
having me.
about your vision and the things that you do. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am from Bloomfield, Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
I graduated from Northwest Catholic High School, played Division One at St. Joseph's University in Philadelphia, finished my playing career at St. Peter's University in Jersey City, New Jersey, another Division One school. Played 6 years professionally overseas. Um, was done with my playing career around 2019, and that's when I kind of jumped into entrepreneurship, education, and youth and family development. So it's been a great ride using, my story as an athlete and my experiences and my resources, and now I'm giving back to the next athletes and their families in support of helping youth reach their full potential in and out of school. So that's a little bit about myself. Yeah.
Wow, that's fascinating. A little bit. Now, we're gonna talk about a whole lot of different things, but I think one of the things that's fascinating is the connection between sports and success, because a lot of schools, you know, they, I guess, in an effort to cut budgets, which to me is penny wise and pound foolish, but they'll cut music and they'll cut sports. But there's such a connection to me between, you know, sports and business, sports and success, sports and, you know, being being able to complete tasks. You know, people that are athletes always seem to have the edge when it comes to being at the top of any endeavor or any game, if you will. 'Cause, so make a little bit of that connection for our viewers.
Yeah, there's a ton of transferable skills that you can learn as an athlete and in any sport. Determination, discipline, focus, striving for greatness in total. So, my organization uses sports as a pathway to success in other areas of life, introducing, youth to um, different entrepreneurship, different social emotional development, certainly different programming year round. Um, and so, like I said, we use sports as a pathway to keep kids engaged, keep kids focused in and out of school, and keep their parents, with the resources along the way in each stage of their life. Um, using, like I said, sports as a tool, a vessel to kind of lure kids in, but with the other things as like I said, academic wise, social emotionally, career and career readiness, those are the things that are more important than the actual sport.
Mm-hmm.
And so, utilizing the transferable skills in sports, like you said, there's a lot of different lessons and interpersonal qualities that sports uses for athletes that are, like I said, transferable in life, in career, in life. And so, we, as a culture, are tied to music and then tied to sports in many different ways. So, understanding how we can help kids and parents realize that you're not just an athlete, you're a human being,
Mm.
and that a sport may be one thing that you do in your life, but that's not everything that you are. And even in sports, there's so many different ways of being successful in sports without having to be the athlete. We tell kids all the time that, yeah, you want to be a basketball player, but looking at the statistics, chances are you'll be a professional in some other aspect of your life. And so, we always try to expose kids to different career paths within the sports because, um, they can always be a GM, they could be a president, they could be a coach, they could be a trainer, they can be a team doctor, they can be a team psychologist, they can be, the team, finance and accountant. There's so many different aspects within sports. And we encourage kids to be lifelong participants in sports, but that doesn't always mean to be the player. And so, like I said, just introducing the different career paths and entrepreneurship levels of success through sports using those transferable skills is what we try to do.
Wow. Now you have a camp. So let me put that up on the screen. You have a basketball camp, and it's starting like real soon, the 7th.
Starting Monday.
Monday. And I would imagine what you just got finished talking about, a lot of that is, you go a lot of that comes through the opportunity that young people have to join you at your camp. Talk a little bit about that.
So before I even get into this camp, normally what we do,
Mm-hmm.
any basketball camp that we have, and truly any basketball program that we have, we always try to introduce other aspects of life, like I just said, career readiness, just being engaged academically, developing social emotionally with those life skills, etc. So that's just a mantra that we always have. It's bigger than just sports. We feel that, when we provide a platform for sports, we always have to find a way to add different value and other values other than just doing skills and drills or playing the games. Our kids need more, and that's what we try to focus on. So this camp is featuring a very special NBA legend, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, formerly known as Chris Jackson. His story is just a testament to, what determination looks like, and bravery, and it reflects, thought-provoking and inspiring, emotions when you hear about his story. He comes from an impoverished background, down south, single family home. Dad was not around. Um, Growing up, had to fend for himself in multiple ways of his life. Ended up being a top high school athlete in the nation, going on to play Division I basketball at LSU. And growing up, especially on his journey to LSU, was battling Tourette syndrome,
Mm.
which, if anybody knows that syndrome and that disease, and you're playing basketball through it, is just incredible. And gets to the NBA, drafted third overall after an incredible college career. Um, like I said, dealing with those disadvantages, gets to the NBA, has a successful first few years in the NBA, just absolutely electrifying. Also recognized as Steph Curry before Steph Curry, the way his style of play was, and his wizardry with the basketball. Um, Later on in his career, he converted to Islam,
Mm-hmm.
where his name Chris Jackson, he turned it into Mahmoud Abdul Rauf, and took a stance and stopped standing for the Pledge of Allegiance during those NBA games. And um, basically, Colin Kaepernick story before Colin Kaepernick's story is what Mahmoud Abdul Rauf stood for.
Mm-hmm.
The injustices in the country at that time, and they pretty much blackballed him out the league after that. The KKK burned his house down. Um, he had trouble finding jobs, for other NBA teams for a while, but also, persevered through that and still played after his NBA career in the Big Three, which is currently a league for ex and older, you know, and not even older. I can't even say he's one of the oldest, but ex NBA players still looking to, you know, keep it going and keep their careers going in the highest platform.
Mm.
So his story in the total, him growing up and him persevering through adversity, dealing with disadvantages at home, dealing with mental health, and certainly taking a stance in the civil rights, activist, as an athlete, is just a powerful story, and that touches on different subject matters that our kids need to hear. Many of us in the area deal with, impoverished backgrounds. Certainly, as a community, we deal with mental health issues, and obviously, the social injustices that we deal with, as a community, are all things that he will be touching upon throughout the camp. And he is just an awesome teacher, motivator, trainer, coach, player, and so we're thrilled to have him. Not only teach our kids how to be better basketball players, but how to be better men.
Wow. Talk a little bit about because I know you specialize in youth development, and it's something it's pretty near and dear to my heart. And Hartford, with the challenges that it has, and as you talked about, how our community is impacted by issues around poverty, our youth, and mental health. Talk a little bit about the importance of youth development, because for a lot of people, I don't think they fully understand the stages that kids go through and the young people go through as they make their journey towards adulthood.
Yeah. On our end, we're trying to, bring special, programming, think outside the box on how we can keep kids engaged academically, and provide the resources that they need to be successful in and out of school. What our programs try to do is, supplement what they learn in school, and how can we address things that they may not be learning in school, social emotional, things, financial literacy, career advancement, and career readiness, things like that. Oftentimes, the one thing that we don't kind of get ahead from one stage to the next is the lack of resources and the lack of information and the lack of programming. And so we try to just fill in those gaps to keep kids busy, keep kids engaged in positive youth development, and to spend their time thinking about, their future and creating those healthy habits along the way. And so while they may be learning some things in school, I've worked in education for over 10 years, so I understand what, the gap is between what they need to be learning in the real world versus what they're learning in school, and how do we bridge that to make, both ends successful. So, kids are dealing with a lot post-COVID. Schools are being met with a ton of different challenges. First and foremost, kids in attendance. That's one thing that's really down. And if the attendance is down, the first job with that is trying to get the kids back in school and re-engage with school before you can even talk about grades and behavior and all that. We're talking about getting kids, like I said, re-engaged with coming to school. That's problem number one. And then obviously grades, and helping kids reach reading levels that are on or at their grade level, math levels, and certainly the main thing I'm hearing as I'm dealing with youth is that youth don't really know what their options are. They don't really have a vision of what the future looks like. They're kind of dealing with things day to day, and not really having those goals and creating those timelines and healthy habits along the way that can make them successful. And so that's what we try to do. We try to, like I said, and get them to see the hope and the positivity in the now, and give them incentives to have, bright future goals in and out of school. And we try to bridge that gap.
All right. Our special guest this morning is Chris Prescott. We're going to dive in a little bit deeper. Take a short break. Stick and stay. Don't go anywhere. It's more than talk. We'll be right back.
Every bad political decision is made by a politician elected to office. So if you think your vote doesn't matter, just remember this. There are people sitting with politicians in a back room making deals about your future, making policies about your children, making decisions about your neighborhood. To them, you are just a vote. You are not their cause. You are just a vote. Elections have consequences, and if you don't vote, you are actually voting to keep these people in power to work against you. Now more than ever, you need to make your vote count. It's time to clear the air and vote for a mayor that is unbought, unbossed, trusted, and accountable to you, the constituent. My name is J. McCauley, and I am an independent thinker, and I approve this message. I'm asking you for your vote for mayor of the city of Hartford. For more information, visit McCauleyformayor.com. Have the courage to vote your conscience and vote for the name you trust and know. Vote J. Stan McCauley for mayor.
Hi,
My name's J. Stan McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
All right, my friends, welcome back. Morning Talk. I'm your host, J. Stan McCauley, along with the champions of talk. Of course, Miss Cleo Duke-Wright is here. We've got a special guest, Chris Prescott, joining us via Zoom. So let's continue with our conversation. Talk a little bit, Chris, about your, about your organization.
Yeah, so my organization, Impact Mentoring Inc., we're based out of Hartford, Connecticut. We provide youth programming year-round, trying to take an innovative approach to helping kids and parents stay engaged and staying active. And we provide mentoring programs, we provide after-school programs, summer camps, sports training, recreation leagues for youth and adults, and community events. And we're just, like I said, trying to take an innovative approach on keeping kids engaged and keeping parents with the resources to help their students along the way in and out of school.
Mm-hmm. Now, so what is the most innovative thing that you guys do?
So I say our basketball camps, we in the summertime, our summer basketball camps often include not only the kids getting the skills and drills and the games and having fun through the sport itself, but we often have professors there who are often black and brown professors from local universities such as UConn, Eastern Connecticut State, Western Connecticut State, and above. Um, actually have these young men and women in classrooms talking about interpersonal skill building, talking about social emotional learning, talking about life skills, and certainly career development and entrepreneurship. So we take an approach to where during the summertime where, kids are out of the mindset of being in a classroom, you kind of um, use the sports, like I said earlier, using sports as a pathway to keep these kids engaged in learning. And we do that in the summertime, have these kids in classrooms. And like I said, we're, supplementing a school day with what, a fun basketball camp normally is. So, you know, the idea of kids being in classrooms during the summertime is something that kids themselves were like, I don't know, but once they come to camp and they know they're going to have a ball, sports wise, um, they oftentimes can't wait to get in those classrooms and discuss things with people about topics that they don't normally have access to during the school year. So it really turns into something exciting, powerful, you know, rhetoric, amongst, you know, kids talking about, the feelings, their future, what they struggle with, what their goals are. And, oftentimes these professors that I have, in these classrooms with the kids are former athletes, and current educators. So it's just like the beautiful cycle of, putting people in places for the youth that can have, impact on their education, impact on their sports lives, and impact on their life in general. And so that's the innovative approach that we've kind of made our mantra. Is if you're going to come to us with some basketball, you're going to get better with us. Great, trust me, I was a basketball player, but as a basketball player, I know I needed more with my programming to help me become, a well-rounded individual. That way, when sports was done for me, which it will be done for everybody at some point, we introduce like, who are you outside of the sport, and what can you bring this world, value-wise, that we can start working on now before the ball is done bouncing for some of these students.
I just have to say uh, one thing. Well, everything that you're saying is wonderful, um, and of course, everything you're saying has been tried many times before. And you talk about um, closing the gap between the school day, and tell me if I'm misunderstanding it, and what you are teaching now. And I think, just my personal opinion, you're not going to close the gap, because you're not going to close the gap. I just think that we need to educate our own children, period. Stop trying to close the gap, just try to get along. Just educate our own children with our own our wonderful people who have been through life, and go from there. This getting together and closing gaps, is just not gonna. It's just never has worked, because there are devices to keeping us where we are, and to keeping us out of certain areas, because those areas are for my children, not for your children. We're going to keep that. And so I just think that we just need to do it on ourselves, this closing the gap thing, that just never has worked. People are fighting so hard to improve our school systems, to get our children an equal break, and that fight is always against us. It's always against us. Just look around at the school system all over the country, and you could see that this there is a fight, whether it's an underground fight or whatever. It seems to never go our children's way. Never goes in the way of. It's not all their fault that they're not engaged. It's not all the parents' fault that they're not engaged. Just look what they have to go through to get engaged. And that's just what I think your work is wonderful, but I just think that we need to get out there and do the whole job ourselves. We need to do the whole job ourselves. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I think we can't put our reliance in the school system to do that, and that's why closing the gap for us is actually putting Black and brown individuals as mentors in the schools to help, like I said, keep kids engaged. Because the school systems they're doing what they can, they're doing what they know that works for them. But oftentimes, like you said, our kids need more, our families need more. And so that's where we come into play, empowering the parents to say, hey, maybe the school might be dropping, the ball in some areas of your kid's life. Here's where you lean on the community and community organizations to help deliver those resources along the way. So, if the school isn't providing those, resources as far as, like I said, college and career readiness, financial literacy, social emotional learning, and just taking the grassroots approach to, providing those entities, then we drop the ball, because we know that the systems in which you're talking about are put in place against us. And so putting the power in the parents, giving them the resources, educating parents to educate their kids, it starts with us, and that's a within mantra. And so I hear exactly what you're saying loud and clear, as far as like bridging the gap. But we're putting the power and putting the education in the parents to help their kids along the way, whether they go to the best school system or the worst. And we're putting different career goals in place to help them stay successful in each stage of their life. And so, like, trust me, I understand exactly what you're saying. I worked in many of the local districts around here, and I understand how our kids need more. And so, in taking that approach, we can't change those huge systems. We can't change those public school systems overnight, but we can get to the kids individually. We can get to parents individually and start shifting the mindset. That's what it took for me. I know I had people in the community that taught me more than a classroom or a grade level could ever. And I had those experiences of, growing up and going here and being a part of this and that, shaped me more than my school did. So just taking that approach, we're not going to pick up the slack of the school systems in every single way. But if we can use, like I said, sports as a pathway to help kids with their reading levels, their math levels, and help them understand what their options are in and out of school, post-secondary especially, then we're trying to make an impact, and that's the impact we're trying to make.
Talk a little bit about your about your camp.
So this is an exciting camp. Like I said, we have Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, who's an NBA legend, coming to be hands-on. He's not just going to sit around and just watch everything unfold.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming to be hands-on with our youth, and like I said, teach them not only basketball skills, but his story is just thought-provoking and inspiring, off the court with his story too. So we're going to address the things that you just mentioned and how we can be ahead of the game, ourselves, and take the power in ourselves to be, successful. And we're just looking forward to a fun week, a ton of competition, a ton of fun. It's going to be at New Britain High Schools for boys 11 to 18 years old, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. You may see a price there, but we are giving scholarships and discounted rates um, to local youth, especially in Hartford, to try to alleviate the barriers from cost and transportation to and from the camp. So we're working on that now. So please contact me at 860-805-5768 if you're interested in having your kid participate in Mahmoud Abdul Rauf basketball camp, which would be an amazing experience. Kids out here don't really get to have access to NBA players, ex-NBA legends. Um, and so we want to uplift them by providing them somebody that's going to inspire them and motivate them other than somebody in the neighborhood that they've already seen. And so we're using this opportunity to bring like a high level guy like Mahmoud up here and in hopes that we can inspire them to be great in and out of school, on and off the court.
Let's take a look at the. Hold on a second. I am technically. There we go, Stanley. Come on. Okay. We'll get it together. Hold on. Okay. Oh, there we go. There we go. All right. Too many screens in here. All right. I was trying to bring your website up using one computer, and it's telling me, "Oh, you think you're so smart, huh?" Okay. Here we go. 3 days of the event. So you can visit them at M, like the letter M, PACT.com, MPACT, CT.com, impact.com. And you can go online, you can register. And as he said, they have some scholarships available. And you can find out all about what's going on from their website, very informative. And a lot of things going on. Impact Camp 2023. And, if you have young men, boys.
And women.
And women.
Yep.
Okay.
On there, that's our most recent camp, but we service boys and girls, men and women as well. And we desire equity in everything we do. For whatever we do for the boys, you do for the girls. Oftentimes, the equity isn't there because we don't have a facility of our own. And so we have to, abide by the schedules of, the local gyms and local community centers that we partner with to be able to have a timeline on how we can service our youth. So the next stage of our company's development is attaining our own community center so we can, run our own programs and not have to hear yeses or nos from local facilities that, have other schedules and other intentions. And so that's our next stage. So you pray for us that we can, attain a building that can service our youth, without any disruptions or any barriers. So, yeah.
All right. So a building of your own is next. That would be fabulous. What do you think that it'll take to make that, into a reality?
As of right now, we are in the beginning stages of identifying different towns that we're seeking to do this in. And, we've already identified funding where that's going to come from. So we're just trying to strategically identify, like I said, spaces and places locally in the Hartford area where, that would be the best place for us. We service Hartford, Windsor, Bloomfield, Manchester, East Hartford, like everywhere. So, it's time for our own. It's time for our own place. So, pray for us and that we can keep delivering impact, and that in our future we can have our own place to do so.
All right. Chris Prescott, Impact. For folks to reach you one more time, how do they do that?
Yeah, you can reach us at www.mpactct.com. So impactct.com, impact without the I. You can also check us out on social media at Impact Mentoring Inc. and that's on Instagram, that's on TikTok, that's on Facebook. And you can also reach me at 860-805-5768 if you have any questions about mentoring, leagues, training, summer camps, community events.
All right. Thanks for taking time out of your schedule and joining us. Check back in with us anytime. We're here every Friday, and well, actually, we're here several days out of the week, but you've got an open door to join us any Friday. So please stay in touch with us and let us know what's going on in terms of the camp. And if we can be helpful in any way, don't hesitate to reach out.
I really appreciate you guys having me. Thank you so much.
All right.
Definitely be back. And thanks again. Thanks again for this platform.
All right. God bless you and continued success. We'll be praying for your camp.
God bless you too. Thank you for your time.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. Fabulous.
Thank you.
Fabulous. All right. Well, my friends, take a short break. Listen to a little Jay Hogarth. Deluge is the name of the piece. Sick and Say will be right back. Morning Talk.
Hey, Hartford, Connecticut, I'm talking to you. We gotta get out and vote. Vote for Stan McCauley. It's our time. We gotta rise up and take it back. Vote for Stan McCauley.
Vote for Stan. You gotta vote for Stan McCauley. Vote for Stan. Vote for Stan. Oh yeah.
It's more than politics than just what your social covers. And it ain't somewhere written down in bold letters. Don't just take my word for it, do your research. Think of your future, look at your bigger picture. Shooting tie, clean up, unity for the righteous. Plotting on action, hands on access. With a light source vision, door to door knocking. Guerrilla style marketing, brainstorm as a collective. Real neighborhood suggestions. Only we know what it is where we living. To make real life decisions. Move on facts, make it manifest back.
You gotta vote for Stan McCauley. Vote for Stan. Vote for Stan. Vote for Stan. Oh yeah.
Look at your city, stop. Take a look around. Is opportunity flow into your house? Are you working? Wait, can you save some money? And is your neighborhood safe? Or is it a homicide every night?
My name is Marlon E. Styler Sr. Many of you may know me as the two-time welterweight champion of the world. I'm here to tell you that Democrat J. Stan McCauley, as our next mayor, will fight for you until the last bell. Help me throw a knockout punch. Go out and vote for Stan the man.
My name is J. Stan McCauley, and I approve this message.
Hi,
My name's J. Stan McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
Love this song. All right, the great Jay Hogarth in the background. Okay, my friends, welcome back. Morning Talk. Yeah, your host, J. Stan McCauley. Good morning, Dr. Bowen. She said good morning, Talk Champions. So, good morning back. Good morning back at you. All right, so once again, if you are interested in Impact, the camp there it is. All right, so www.impactct.com, impactct.com, just with the M. All right. For more information, you can get in touch with Chris at 860-805-5768. All right, there you go. All right, any big plans for the weekend?
Not really. Just housework stuff.
Pull your mic up.
Oh, just housework stuff, which I hate, but I gotta do it.
You know, that's actually a part of living.
That's part of living, right?
Yeah, my office could use a little housework.
So I have to do that, and that's in helping my church who opened a thrift shop, the cutest little thrift shop. You know, I'm a thrift shop shopper anyway, but it's so cute, and people are donating such wonderful things that and we're only open one day a week in Vernon, Connecticut, and
so what?
They're making about $300 a week.
Really? I was gonna ask.
And for one day, for 4 hours, 8 to 12.
Wow. So what day of the week is it open?
Saturday. That's it. And we're getting about $300 to $200 dollars a week.
I was gonna say, is the purpose of the gift shop not gift shop, thrift shop, to supply needs to people, or is it a money making venture?
It's to pay the electric bill.
Oh, okay.
The electric and the heating bill for the church.
Okay, that's nice. So then members donate things to the thrift shop
to
help raise money for.
And other people all over, because the ministers have been in other churches all over, and so these people are coming in and donating, toolboxes and tables and chairs that are beautiful. I wish I had it when I was buying my place. But they're just wonderful things. A jeweler came in last week and saw gold, and they were about to sell it to this lady, because we don't know prices, and you give us a sob story and we'll give it to you. So this lady came in and she took all this jewelry that they have, but we hadn't priced it and had quite sold it to her. And this jeweler came in with the thing. He said, "You were supposed to wait for me. So we said, "Well, we thought that was you, but it wasn't." So let's go through it and price it. So most of it was silver.
Okay.
But there was in some costume jewelry, but there was a one gold necklace that she priced for $125 or $150. She said, "Sell this for $125 or $150." And the lady who had already chosen it, because she was gonna buy, didn't even blink, paid that money like that, and took all the rest of the jewelry, all the silver and stuff that she had. She paid over $200. She bought one person over $200 worth of stuff. $200 worth of.
Wow. I guess it matters where your thrift shop is.
So it's in the. And one week, a woman came in and she had just been burnt out.
Oh my.
So whatever she wanted, she just they gave it to her. A little girl comes in almost every week and sits down and plays with the toys. And she just plays with the toys, and when she leaves, she puts them back, and of course they give her something, one of the toys. But one week she came in and she had some dolls. She was sitting down, she had some dolls, and she was talking, and she was looking all around the dolls, and then she found a black doll, and she had a white doll, and she put them up in her hand. The girl's about 4 years old, and she said, now we could play. You know, like before they couldn't, but now we can play together. You know, and so they thought that she just. They say I haven't seen her. They say she was adorable. She comes in every week or every other week, and so there's like a group of people. You know, people come in and try on things. A bunch of women and said, "Oh, that don't know each other," and start talking. We've got a few people that came to the church on Sunday, so it's a really positive thing. And the woman who heads the minister's wife, and she's done it before, and she loves it. And so I try to get down there and help her out on Saturday mornings. I don't always make it, but I try to make it down there to help her so she's not by herself. But it's just a nice thing.
That's pretty cool.
So yes,
that's pretty cool.
And the men make all the shelves. You know, it's like when I was a kid. You know, oh, you need this. Okay, the men will do it. And the men do it. The men built the shelves and built the rack that the clothes are on. And you know, they come in and look around and say, what do you need? And they move the stuff. And, you know, in such a joyous way.
It's a very communal family kind of atmosphere. That's the way it sounds, is everyone is trying to help everyone else. It's just sounds like community.
It's community, like I remember. So that's why I'm there, because it's community and people come to church the way they come to church. It's no big deal. But some people wear hats and a little dressy. Sometimes I wear a hat and a little dressy, and some people wear shorts and sandals, and some people and they come to church and to worship, and I just love it.
Mr. Wimbish, we'll do a special hello to Mr. Wimbish. He always shares the Friday show.
Yeah.
So he must be a fan of yours.
Wimbish, you know.
Because the only show he shares is the Friday show. And you're the difference. So he must be a fan of yours. I mean, he shares not only this program, but he'll share past Friday programs.
You know what? This
is somebody that is of
Butch Wimbish. He has to be a Butch Wimbish, because Butch Wimbish. Because when I was little, when Butch Wimbish and we all lived in that temporary project that they tore down after, you know, that war kind of a project, and I was Googie then.
You were who?
Googie. Everybody called me Googie for some, I don't know why.
Googie.
I was Googie, and so it was Butch Wimbish lived downstairs from us, and that's the last time I really talked to him is when I was 3 or 4 years old. When he got to be to high school, he was a senior and I was a freshman, I think, and he didn't talk. He didn't talk to me, and I didn't talk to him. But I knew who he was. I always knew who he was, and it was always nice to see him. And his mother, I remember his mother and his father, and we used to go over their house when I was little. So that's the only thing I could think of. That's the only Wimbish I ever knew. We called him Butchie Wimbish, but although it may be a little embarrassing although my sister is 3 years younger than him. When she was 3,
yes,
he was about 6 or something.
Okay.
And my mother says she taught him. My sister taught him how to tie his shoes, and she was 3 years old. Taught Bush to tie his shoes. That was kind of a big deal to my mother. But it was that's the only Wimbish. So I just think that he must be in that family because Butch didn't. I think that must be them. I don't know, but
well, you have a fan out there. You have many fans. But
Thank you so much.
There's one that's he always shares the program, and not just on Friday. He shares the program regularly. So,
Maybe I'm
helping keeping it viral.
Good. Maybe I'm more famous than I thought, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe so.
All right. Well, let me share this with y'all, and we'll be right back. This is my this is the people versus the machine. People versus the machine.
Is this music?
Well, no. The video is people versus the machine.
Oh,
it's not that the song isn't called that, but the music. I mean watch, you'll see.
Harvard is run by the Democrat Party. It's a single party town. And it would make no difference if it was a two-party town or if it was run by Republicans. All right? Anytime an organization runs a thing, the organization that manages or runs it wants to remain in power. When a political party runs the responsibility of governing your city, they're more concerned about remaining in power than they are concerned about providing needs for you, the constituent. It's your government, not the party's government. That's my only issue with the party. I'm a Democrat, all right? But I will never be embraced and accepted by the Democrat Party in theory because I'm not towing the party line. You understand what I'm saying? So the party needs someone to run for mayor. The mayor is an instrument, and he is a component of the machine that is city government. But he's less accountable to you and more accountable to the party, and the party has an apparatus by which to hold him accountable. The town committee, all right, and then the chairman of the party for the local municipality, and then the chairman of the state, and then and on, and the president and all that other stuff. And so the state committees, all right. So they want to vet you. So you run for some local office first, and you see if you can be trusted. This, that, and the third. Can you be trusted to lie, cheat, steal, put out lies, take in cash? Can you be trusted to do that? If you can't, then we can bring you in. All right, but we always got to hold you at bay because the power is tight. The power is like an aphrodisiac. People like it. It's worse than cocaine, right? They want the power, and once they get a taste of the power, they want to hold on to the power because the power is literally to give projects up or down. That's it, right? But the power is not meant for that. The power is there to manage the system on behalf of you all, the residents. Okay. But when you as a constituent are not satisfied because there's people being murdered and it doesn't seem like anyone's giving it any attention, and you feel that your investigative agencies like the police department should be looking into these things, you then become a thorn in the side of the people who are supposed to be doing stuff. All right? Or you have a community review, like a civilian review board. And the civilian review board flags particular incidents that happen by police officers. But those incidents might be a liability to the city. So the city is crushing those things from going any further because if they do so, in theory, they will expose themselves to a liability and they can be sued for millions of dollars. So they never sees the light of day. So you, the constituent, who's supposed to be in charge of all of this, are kept in the dark. There's no transparency because they don't want you to know what's going on with your government because it is a threat to their power. So if you want any of that to change, you need to elect somebody who you can hold accountable, as opposed to the party installing someone who is beholden and accountable to them. This is not rocket science. Very simple. Very, very simple. Very simple. Don't let anyone tell you that you don't have the capacity to hold accountable your elected officials. They want you to think that way because then you accept the fact that you don't have accountability over them. But you didn't put them there. The party put them there. Understand? The party put them in office, not you. You think your votes put them there, but it didn't. It only takes 35 votes to get into the office of mayor. That's the town committee. If those 35 people come out and vote for them, they're in. They don't need you to come out. All right? So you have the illusion of choice, the illusion of a modicum of control that you think you have, that you find that the rude awakening comes 3 weeks after they get in office. You get the old royal shaft because you didn't put them there. You understand? If you put them there, they would be beholden to you. If you put them there, as an elected representative of the people, you are beholden to the people, not the party. And that's why Hartford is in the shape it's in, because your elected officials are beholden to the party.
Yeah, that's 101.
Why can't that be on public TV?
Well, I'm debating on whether or not to drop that on a more public broadcast. You know, buy some airtime, put it on. I just don't know if I want to spend my money like that, but it is running on like social media. I haven't put it on YouTube or anything yet, but maybe we will. Well,
can you put it on paper? Is how many and just?
Oh, you know what? That's brilliant. That's brilliant. That's. You must be an Aquarian.
I must be.
See how self-serving that is? You may not realize how self-serving that is because, of course, I am an Aquarian. I don't know why I didn't think of that. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is It really is. A little feedback there. It is a cartoon.
That's right.
I mean, so I could take each one of those panes and turn them into still images with the caption on.
That's right.
I'm going to do that. Is my mission and task for today. And I'm going to buy a full page in the paper and put that in the paper. 101. Who owns your candidates? You know, I really enjoyed the interview we had a couple of weeks ago. I don't think it was this Monday, but the Monday before. Mayor Walsh was here from East Hartford. And he goes by the title of elected official. Elected official. And he made sure that that's how he was identified, as an elected official. Because elected officials serve the people. Politicians serve themselves. There is a difference. Are you an elected official or politician? I mean, who are you serving? The party, the machine, or the constituents? And you have to ultimately ask yourself that question: who are you serving? So, you know, that's one of the reasons we bailed out, because do you break your neck in an uphill battle to get 3,000 signatures? You know, if the cost per signature is $1, then that's $3,000. If you kick it up to $5, it's $15,000. If you kick it up to $10, that'll be a $30,000 expenditure. That's not a problem. It really isn't. However, why? I mean, that makes a statement that's very, very loud. Because if you fight for something, then that means it's worth having to you. You know what I mean? And it's worth fighting to be an elected official to represent the people of Hartford. But is it worth fighting to be the party's instrument? And to that answer, I had to say no. Because if you fight to get 3,000 signatures so you can be on the ballot, and you need 3,000, don't kid yourself. It's 18, but you need half. Those are going to get washed out. They're going to get blown away. So you need 3,000 clean to be on the safe side. Mm-hmm. People forget to put their birth date down. Their name is illegible. You can't read the name. The address is one number off. A lot of people that are older can't see. You're under a lot of stress and pressure because you really don't know what they're going to do with this signature. They put the old address down. All kinds of reasons. But people are people. So it gets disqualified. It is what it is. And so you wind up fighting to represent the party. Because if you become the Democratic nominee, you are the party's representative. It's like a union. You know, you are a member of the party. I'm a member of the party. But if I fight, and I was, you have no idea how close we were.
To what?
To making that fight. We were like almost.
I know. I was out there with getting the name.
Right. We were almost all in. I mean, in fact, we were kind of all in. And then, people were saying, well, I hope you go all the way. Go all the way. If you don't win the primary, go all the way. Go all the way. Go all the way. And I was on record saying that if I didn't win the primary, I would stop. I said that at the forum at Elizabeth, at the Connecticut Historic Society. The only one that said he would go all the way. Well, that's not true. Eric said he would go all the way. I think Nick LeBron said he would go all the way. Everyone else said that they would back down.
But a lot of them are going. You think will go all the way? Some of them.
No, the good Democrats will not go all the way. You participated in the party's challenge and you lost. You need to sit down. If you lose the primary, you need to sit down. So, I'm a firm believer of that. So, if you're gonna be in the primary and you don't win, sit down. So I was kind of jammed up. Do I go all the way from my base after I fought to represent the party? Then I had a lot of people who were. I had one of my biggest supporters say that if I win, I should say no. Thank you, but no thank you. If I'd have won the endorsement. Mm-hmm. That's what they would have been expecting from me. So, it gets kind of murky. But,
well, Stan,
it's all politics.
We've come a ways. We've come a ways out from. Now, see, you have to realize that you don't know what you're going to say or do until that moment where you really have to make a final decision, because you weren't going to ever run again.
I wasn't going to run again. You're right.
You weren't going to run again.
I was done. Then done. But something in you
says run. So you ran. Mm-hmm. You were not, if they didn't choose you in the primary, then you were done. What does done mean, actually? Because then something is now telling you, we went out there to try to get those 3,000 votes, and all of a sudden we stop, and now we're going to November 7th.
Well, November 7th is the actual election.
Then we're going for that. And so, it's what it is. What at that particular moment, part of it is emotion, and then part of it is now you got to make a real decision.
Yeah.
But I mean, you've kind of been on an emotional roller coaster, because I mean, going out for something 4 times and not feeling the support that you really need to feel, that's emotional. That's some,
it is, but
it, and so you got to get your emotional in check so you can make a decision.
Well, that's true. But
that's what I think.
The driving force are the people. Yesterday, we were on our way to the West End, and there's a guy walking down Farmington Avenue, butt naked.
You were there. My son saw that. He took He took pictures. That was terrible.
People were taking pictures. I'm looking in the rearview mirror, and people are throwing water at him. It's the saddest thing. Here's a guy in total meltdown and distress.
That's what I told my son.
He's walking down the street. His hands are in the air, and he had to be at least 180, 200 pounds. He wasn't fat. He was a big man. Fully naked. Totally naked. He was in front of, he's walking down past, and look at the optic. On one side of the street's the Mark Twain house. On the other side of the street is Asylum Hill Congregational Church. Is that Asylum Hill?
No, that's Emmanuel.
Emmanuel Congregational Church. And here's a house of faith. Here's a historic national landmark. And he's walking down Farmington Avenue, butt naked. Black man. And he is slapping his legs and his hands are up. He's walking down the street. You can see up the hill. An ambulance is trying to make its way down the hill. Fire engines coming from that side. Someone called it in. So it's just, people are at wit's end. Folk are losing it. And the young mother, it's on the front page of the Current today. The investigation with the young lady whose baby, the 2-year-old was jumping on the bed and fell out the window. Mm-hmm. She's out doing an Uber run. She didn't leave the baby alone. The baby was home with older brothers and sisters. But the baby, or not the baby, the young kid, it's a baby, 2 years old, is jumping on the bed and bounced out the window. The bed must have been near the window. This is one reason why there's this big push to put bars on windows if you've got kids of a certain age, because they have a propensity to look out the window if they can. And these tragedies are sad. They happen. Her house is in despair. But there's these systems, and as Brother Sam Saylor said, these are people who are falling through the margins, through the cracks. There are thousands of them. And you hear these stories, some of these people, you hear their plight, they'll call you, they'll talk to you, they ask for help. There's so many people that are in dire need, in dire help, in Hartford. These are Hartford residents. But the collective clowns that have been elected to office don't hear them. And I can say that without fear of contradiction. And any of the elected clowns that want to challenge me, I'll give you the airtime, and we chop it up right here, and we can have this conversation on the air live or anywhere live, if you want to challenge what I'm saying, because the evidence of intentionality to resolve the problem is not present. If there was as much intention to help the people who are truly in need that live in this city as there is to build 10,000 new places for folk to live downtown, you would see it. They're intentionally trying to build up downtown. That you can see it. Not that that's anything wrong, but where's the intention on trying to help the people who also live in Hartford, who could be helped? If someone would help. It's not like it's an impossibility. So if you have money that's set aside or used to help stop sewage from getting in people's house, and money gets redirected somewhere, that's intentional. That's as intentional as setting aside the money. But the egregious act is to redirect monies, to try and not use those monies for what they are used for, or HARPA money, or ESSER funds, or any of the other monies that come in.
How do you define evil?
Or any of the other monies that come in that are misdirected, misspent on other things. So they use poverty as a generator of monies, and then when the monies get here, they're misspent. Or monies are sent here because of catastrophic situations that hit the country or the region, and then those monies are redirected. They're not used for what they're used for. And that's outright, downright corruption. And that's what drives me to keep running. Because you hear these stories, and then you hope that somebody that's running actually is going to do something about it. And then they flim-flam, lie, cheat, steal, and they do all those other things. They pad their experiences so that they look good. This, that. They're taking, now, the emotional part for me, the thing that really takes all my emotional energy, is keep it from going full nuclear on some of these people. Because that just would be wrong. But
the thing is that the people are so into survival mode that they're not paying attention to that.
Mm-hmm.
And not realizing the part of their misfortunes and tragedies are because things are not being done politically as they should be done.
Right.
So they don't actually have to be in the total situation that they're in, except for the fact that the people that we put into office have not done their job.
They have not done their job.
They have not done their job. I know a couple seniors. The wife is in a convalescent home, can't get out unless she gets a first floor apartment. They went for Section 8. They finally get Section 8. That the husband can't get on a bus because he has leukemia. And so he's free. There's no sign of leukemia. He takes those pills every month for his leukemia, and can't get any help to get an apartment now that they got the Section 8, and they have to have an apartment by September 9th or September 20 something, I think it is. And he only has, how does he do it? No car, and he calls and he calls and he tries to get. So I just think that it should be easy. I thought when you got a Section 8, you just go and get an apartment, and it was easy, but it's not so easy. They need all kinds of papers. They need this. He has to go with that and back and forth. I'm helping them go back and forth and to his wife, and it's not fair. So does he lose if he doesn't get an apartment? Does he lose his Section 8 on the 20-something of September? I don't understand. I thought it was easy once you got the certificate. He has a certificate for Section 8. I don't know. He has it for West Hartford though. Mm-hmm. The certificate for West. But somebody, he lives in Hartford. Somebody should be helping him do this. You got two ill people. Somebody should be helping him.
Well, I guess, as we like to say, you want to save the world, but you can't.
You can't. That's right.
So save someone who can. Save someone who can save the world. So you always keep trying. You always keep trying. Hartford is worth trying. Time after time after time after time
Sometimes
after time. I don't see. I see no giving up, advocating and standing up for Hartford. At some point, Hartford will begin to do the right thing. There's too many people who give up on Hartford, and then they roll up into elective office and forget their charge.
Well, Stan, sometimes that's what you're thinking. Oh, I'm just had enough of this, and you do want to just say, I'm going to my little corner of the world and let this just happen. Because if people aren't going to wake up and they're not going to do anything and people keep shouting, you know, you have to think about these things. You have to think about you. Don't just let someone be elected and you don't even know who they are. You don't know where they come from. You don't know their policies. You don't know them. And still somebody can say, there's these many families that run Hartford. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. And who's working for you? See, I feel like I'm at this point feeling like nobody's working for us.
Right, and once that happens, that's where it gets. That's where the system totally breaks down. Once everybody starts to lose faith, trust, and hope, then they win. They win. They win because now everyone's given up. So we keep fighting because otherwise, you know. And if people get tired, I understand that. Good. Quit and go on about your business. Don't stay in the position and exploit the position for personal gain. Because that's what a lot of people do. They exploit the position for personal gain.
Because they're tired.
Because they get that right. But suppose you went out to a restaurant and you sat down and you ordered, you know, it's your 25th wedding anniversary or some big occasion, and you go out and you get dressed up, you get your little limousine and all that other stuff, and you go to a fancy restaurant, and you know the meal's gonna be $300 by the time you're done, right? And you're sitting at the table, and the guy comes out and brings you a hamburger, and it's not even cooked right. You say, "What is this?" You know, I just feel like giving up. I don't want to cook for you people no more. People come in here, they complain about the food. So here, take what you have. Well, I appreciate that he's tired. Maybe he needs to go get another job. But the next guy coming in can do the job. You see, if I'm making any sense. You know, if people are tired, if elected folk are tired, then sit your behind down. But if you're going to get in there and really advocate, and there's a track record of that advocacy, then cool. But selling out and getting tired, that's not an option. Quit.
Do you know if you become mayor, you're going to bump into all that negativity that's still there. That's the string pullers are going to be at you.
That is true.
And
that is true.
Can you sustain? Can you take all of the string pulling and name calling and accusations and all the things that they're going to pull because you're not their mayor? You know, they're going to do all of that. They're going to run you to hell.
You're talking about after winning.
After winning.
After winning is, I have no problem with that. I have no problem with it. And people who know, I thrive on that kind of stuff. I thrive on that kind of stuff. That stuff doesn't, that I'll be honest with you, I probably shouldn't say this. Those things affect me more out of position than in position. In the position, you have the authority. See, with the authority, it doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter what they say. I'm not like here to destroy stuff, become a bull in a china shop. But I'm here to make sure everybody plays by the rules. This is one of the reasons why there's so much opposition. See, there's a lot of power and authority given to that chair. A lot. The conventional wisdom is that I'm coming in there to destroy the forward progress. And that's not the case. But we're not going to do it we're not going to exploit the residents of Hartford anymore. We're not going to exploit the residents of Hartford anymore. So, so now what they'll do is they'll have the little forums, because no one will have a debate. They don't like debates. So there's never going to be a substantive discussion about the issues and where the candidates stand on those issues.
You mean from this point on?
Well, they haven't had one yet, but from this point on, yes. That will be the flavor of the day. And so we won't be in the debates because we're not in the primary. So they'll lock you out of the
nobody
debates.
in the I mean, who's all right.
Well,
okay.
Come the 9th, there may only be one person in the primary. There won't be a primary.
There won't be a...
There very well maybe not be a primary. I would imagine that 3 people that'll be in the primary will be John Fonfair, Eric Coleman, and Arunan Arulapalum. One of the three of them will win. The other 2 will lose. They will lose. And this is a matter of fact. This is not rhetoric or hyperbole. It'll become a historical fact. One of those 3 people will lose because, as a matter of fact, they never had a chance to win. That's not my opinion. That's a matter of fact. And the reason I bring that up is because everyone loves to say Stan lost. I'm the only other candidate that's ever been. Eddie lost. Pedro lost. I mean, everyone that didn't win lost. But it's always, well, Stan can't win. Well, the others lost too. They couldn't win. So only one person can win. We just can't see into the future as to who that person is. So point in fact,
but we could have a pretty good guess.
That's all it is. They guessed about the pandemic, didn't they? They had some of the brightest minds on the planet. Most of them were wrong. They were wrong. Nothing's changed other than the United States government said the pandemic is over. What happened is that all of the people that were vulnerable perished. The smart people said, let there be natural immunity so that this happens quickly and effectively. Someone decided to shut the country. These are decisions that were political decisions. And the effects of them.
There was a
and so they did, but they didn't know. So they took an educated guess. And many times the educated guess is just that, a guess. They don't know.
So there were people who said, just let it play out.
Absolutely.
Let it play out. Let their immune systems go. And because the same thing would have happened.
Absolutely. You know what?
If they had just let it play out, those people would have still died. But that were affected by.
Right. They stopped the spread. Now, I hope I don't get sanctioned for this conversation because we've never really talked about this. I'm hoping that we've moved far enough along a way that you can actually have this conversation. Our very first guest when we came on was Dr. Silverstein.
Stein.
H. Robert, world-renowned cardiologist.
Yes.
One of the smartest men in America. And then Dr. Wu. Remember Dr. Wu?
Dr. Wu, yes.
And I asked Dr. Wu, so how do you fight, COVID? He said, there's 2 ways. Take the vaccine or get it. That's it. The only way to become immune. Get it or take the vaccine. Everyone in our household had COVID. I had COVID. My wife had COVID. The kids all had COVID. Didn't take the vaccine. I had COVID for a weekend. Monday, I was fine. Saturday, I don't even remember. It just knocked you right out. But now I'm immune. Like other things, you get it, you build up natural immunity.
So both doctors said the same thing.
Right. But they couldn't say a lot of these things publicly because everyone was being shut down. If you had an opposing point of view that kicked in the face of the current popular point of view that was being rammed down people's throats, there wasn't even room for discussion.
Well, if you didn't get a shot, there were certain places you couldn't go, certain things you couldn't do.
They tried to use social pressure.
You needed to do these things. You couldn't
Right.
go into. I could not have gone into the senior center, which is a social place for a lot of seniors. I couldn't have done a lot of
There's
things.
a lot of people need to be in jail for what they did to the seniors. They put them all in one place. That story has not come out yet. It will. It will. Because at the end of the day, a lot of elected officials made the wrong choice.
But they weren't medical people.
It doesn't matter. The burden of responsibility lies in those who get to make the final decisions. They can't step away from the results. Just like if you happen to be out earning money for your kids and one of them perishes. You're the parent. Mm-hmm. So now they want to hold you accountable for something that was an accident. A horrible accident. Well, at the best, these guys made a horrible accident. At the worst, they made conscious decisions that cost the lives of a lot of seniors that perished.
They put them all together.
Because they put them all together, which everyone that's in medical profession has said this is not how you treat things. But they didn't listen. And one day, there's going to be a day of reckoning, and all these people are going to have to be held accountable for their decisions. Just like they're trying to hold Donald Trump accountable for words he used. All of these people use words, and they're going to be held accountable for their past transgressions and mistakes that they made, because words mean things. The day of reckoning hasn't even begun. It hasn't begun, but it's coming. It's coming. Some of these people need to be in jail for their decisions. And you let the medical professional insiders talk, and they will absolutely go to jail. I know medical professionals, nurses, doctors to quit their jobs because of the stuff that was going on. And they'll never return to the field of medicine again because of the egregious, horrible things that were done in terms of decisions in an effort to make money. Because that's what these people are most interested in. Money and power.
To make money on a vaccine.
Or anything else. So to a certain degree, you have to remember, people willing to bomb a country into the Stone Age to save a nickel on a gallon of gas. So, if that's how they feel about other countries, how they feel about the poor and the indigent, and the ones that really need, the ones that really have a need. Because it's all about the money.
How do you define evil? Is evil the pedophile school administrator or taxation without representation? Is it the gatekeeping community leaders who sell out the very people they were elected to fight for? Or is evil the politician that puts out lies and takes in cash? However you may classify evil, having to choose the lesser of two evils still leaves you with evil. Nowhere does this rule apply more than during an election for mayor. Choosing a candidate who is the lesser of two evils still leaves you with evil. No wonder so many people don't vote. It's time for the constituents to flip the script and vote for a mayor you can trust. My name is Jason McCauley. I am an independent thinker, and I approve this message. I'm asking you for your vote for mayor for the city of Hartford. I, like you, am an independent thinker. So let's sit down and talk about my path to victory and why my plan for Hartford will work. Stop listening to the uninformed evil interests that tell you I can't win. For more information, visit McCauleyformayor.com. Have the courage to vote your conscience. Vote for the name you trust and know. Vote McCauley for mayor.
I can listen to this forever. I had more fun in the studio recording these guys. It was just a blast. An absolute blast. Jay Hogarth and Van Gelder Studio, historic studio in I want to say Inglewood Heights, New Jersey, or Inglewood Cliff in New Jersey. It's in New Jersey, overlooking right off the you come over the George Washington Bridge, first exit, and it's like 2 miles or so off the bridge, and it's just wonderful time. Ian with musical genius. I'm sorry. I didn't do that on purpose, Cleo. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I wasn't even. See, I'm so used to just hitting the button and they're right there, and I didn't realize you were not necessarily ready.
My chewing mode.
All right. Well, we're out of time. So, any last words?
Oh, well. You encouraged me to keep the fight.
Keep the fight.
So I'll do my best.
Keep the fight.
To keep the fight. To keep on going, because I do love Hartford. I was born here. I love Hartford, and no matter where I go, when it's time for me to come home, it's just such a wonderful feeling to be on the highway.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be, I look for the top of Travelers. I still look for the top of Travelers. From the highway, I want to see the top of Travelers.
Yes.
And I'm home.
Home.
So, vacations, when I was coming up, I just, to see Travelers, I said, I'm home.
There's no place like it. No place like
right,
home.
right.
No place like home.
And I still feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
I still feel that way.
Well, for me, it's the onion. The blue onion.
Oh, the boat?
Yeah. Well, down at Colt. You know, the cupola.
Yeah, the
blue.
top of Colts.
Yeah, the blue. Yeah. The blue onion. When I see that, I know I'm home. Yeah. I guess because I'm always returning from going south, coming home from Philly, coming home.
My aunt used to tell us when she'd drive us somewhere, she said, you always know you're home when you see the top of Travelers, and they're never going to build a building taller in Hartford, taller than Travelers. Well, we can see that one is true. There are buildings taller than Travelers.
Mm-hmm. Wow. There's a picture of the Zeppelin flying.
Oh, yeah, you showed that last week.
The aviation history that's been made here in Hartford at Brainerd Field. Right. Anyone that wants to close Brainerd Field should not be elected mayor. Period. But that's another subject for another day, and we'll save that for that next day.
I don't think they're going to close Brainerd Field.
Yeah. All right.
I don't think they'll win that one.
Yeah. Ask all of the candidates. Open, close. Say Brainerd Field. Open, close. If they won't give you an answer, they're automatically disqualified because that means they're incapable of answering anything that they're they haven't stuck their finger in the air for, the old waiting for the wind to blow. It's blowing from the yes or the no. Yeah, I can't answer the question yet because I need to find out what's the right answer. When I get the right answer, I'll let you know what I think. I was for it before I was against it, but now that I'm against it, I'm for it. But not anymore because things have changed. I'm trying to figure out from which direction the wind's coming. Take a stand. Otherwise, you stand for anything, right? All right. Ciao, y'all. Have a fabulous rest of your day. Tomorrow is the Jerk Fest.
And where is that?
That's down in Mortenson, Riverfront.
Oh, okay.
And that's a fabulous, fabulous fabulous event. I'm going there tomorrow just as someone that wants to participate in the festivities. I'm usually there recording.
But now you're there just to have
Now
fun.
I'm going there to have fun. For the first time, I'm going to go there and just enjoy the food and the people. Instead of taking a camera and lugging it around everywhere.
The Jerk Fest.
The Jerk Fest.
On the waterfront.
On the waterfront. Yeah. Be there or be what? Be there or be square. I don't know. We'll see. All right, y'all have a fabulous rest of your day. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.